What better time could it be? This is the playoffs when you want to peak. It always hasn't been that way, as you Bills fans can remember, the 2-14 years and all the jokes. But, hey, the jokes and everything are in the past. The Bills are going to the big one.
I went through the jokes like, knock, knock, who's there? Owen. Owen who? Owen 10. You know, I went through those jokes on the air. You know, I've heard them all. You know, so the only thing I feel now for Mr. Wilson, I feel extremely happy for him. And I feel extremely happy for a lot of guys in our football team because we've all busted our butts to get here. Now all we have to do is go one more week. We got one more river to cross.
Teams get their chance, but 20 years down the road, they're not going to know who was. They'll say, "Oh, Buffalo was in it," but they're going to know who won it. So our goal is to win it, not just to show up.
The Bills will now meet the winner of the New York Giants-San Francisco 49er game. The 49ers leading that one.
The crowds here have died down a little bit, but there are still plenty of people celebrating here at Everett Stadium in the parking lot, and these fans have earned the right to celebrate, sticking by the Bills for all these years. Now, the game today was somewhat overshadowed all week with the Persian Gulf War, but today the troops in the Persian Gulf were not forgotten. Amidst all of the concern leading up to the Bills' AFC Championship game, there was an undercurrent of concern for U.S. troops fighting in Operation Desert Storm. Amidst all of the cheering and all of the partying, Bills fans took time out to think of the U.S. soldiers.
And now they're doing their part down there. We all appreciate it. We're all proud of them, and it's great. No problem.
This sign was made for our guys over in Saudi Arabia. Know that we're thinking about them. We haven't forgotten about them for a minute here, and we want them to know that they are as much in our thoughts as the Bills are. Inside the stadium, the words to the national anthem had special meaning on this day. And the spirit of a nation. The record crowd rallied behind the troops and the Bills today, but there was no repeat of the Miami Dolphins game 3 weeks ago when the fans stormed the field. I-Team reporter Tony Farina has more on that.
There was a wildly jubilant crowd that cheered the Bills on to victory today, but a crowd held in check by tight security. Fans entering the stadium, especially the earlier arrivals, were searched, but the fans didn't seem to mind the inconvenience.
I really don't blame security for it. I think it's a good idea. But at the same token, the fans probably want to see some of the instant replays, stuff like that. And I guess I can't really blame the fans for getting upset about it, but security purposes, I can't blame them.
There was only one arrest once the game started, and 2 more after it ended. That's when 2 fans tried to challenge the combined security force on the field. They were quickly subdued, and that was the end of it. The exciting Bills win was unmarred by fan violence when the game ended. Only 2 fans had to be subdued by security personnel on the field.
When you have enough force shown, then nobody is foolish and gets down there.
So it was a good day all the way around.
Oh, we're delighted. Couldn't be more pleased.
The cost of the security force, paid for by the NFL, is estimated at more than $120,000. With the I-Team, Tony Farina, Eyewitness News.
And the victory is indeed sweet because the fans did indeed behave themselves after the game. Now a lot of partying going on in Western New York. All week long there'll be parties, and we'll be there to bring you every one of them. And we'll be back tonight at 11 to show you some more post-game fan reaction. Back to you, Gene. All right, thank you, Lisa. Looks like a lot of fun out there. Bills did what they had to do to get to the Super Bowl. And Rick, at one point I thought that score was going to start looking like a basketball.
Yeah, exactly. They did what they had to do, and then some. And I tell you, it'd be one thing to just be a transplant fan, but to grow up here and see them do it and dream of them doing it, it's hard to believe. A day to remember in Bills history. You know, I remember a day back in 1967 as a little kid listening to the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs on the radio. The Bills with a chance to go to the very first Super Bowl only to get blown out 31-7. Well, here we are 24 years later, and this is awesome. The Bills with an unbelievable performance, ripping the L.A. Raiders 51-3 and earning their first trip to the Super Bowl. No doubt, the greatest day in Buffalo Bills history. Now, there was plenty of patriotism, and it was great to see it at the stadium today. The Bills playing this game, and it was broadcast back to the servicemen in the Persian Gulf. The Bills fans here and there, plenty to cheer about from the very first play. Kelly gives it Thomas, who gets 12 yards and the first down. The Bills march into Raiders territory. Kelly to the air for Keith McKellar. He's got it, a first down at the 11. A penalty brings it back to the 13, but no problem. How about this play? Kelly fumbles the ball, picks it up, rolls out, sees James Lofton open, so hits him. He's got the touchdown, 7-0 in Bills, and you can tell right there, hey, this was going to be Buffalo's day. The Raiders answer with their only highlight of the day. We thought we'd be nice and show it to you. Jeff Jager with the field goal, 7-3. The Raiders coaches were trying to draw up a way to stop the Bills' offense. Forget about it. Second possession, Kelly. The long ball for Lofton, the fingertip catch, 41 yards, and the Bills were ready to score again. From the 12, the draw play to Thomas. Thurman shakes the tackle, races in for the touchdown. 6 minutes gone, and it's 14-3 Bills, and Marv Levy could sense a good day was coming. The Bills' defense then got into it. Bruce hurries Schrader, the pass intercepted by Darryl Talley to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Buffalo, 21-3, and pandemonium at the stadium. Now, there was plenty more. Second quarter, 4th and goal. Kenneth Davis comes in. He gets the call, takes it in. 27-3 Bills. Marv with a few more Super Bowl thoughts. Next possession, Kelly, another bomb, this time to Steve Tasker. He's got it at the Raiders' 10. From the 3, Davis gets the call again. He scores again. 34-3 still in the second quarter. Next possession, Kelly to Lofton, his second TD of the day. The Bills led 41-3 at the half. Hey, they were going to the Super Bowl right here. Marv knew it. Kelly knew it, and our servicemen overseas, well, they were watching this game, and they got a chance to see it too. The Bills, number one, and the Bills fans, hey, they knew it too. A playoff record, 41 points in the first half. The second half, it belonged to the Bills defense. This pass picked off by Kelso, deep in Raider territory. This pass picked off by Leonard Smith in the end zone. He brings it out. Hard to keep track of. There was so many of them. Talley gets another one. The Bills with 6 interceptions on the day. Davis would add his third TD. Noah with a field goal. The Bills destroy, demolish, and rip the Raiders 51-3. Talley with the victory dance coming up. And then watch Bruce and Bennett with some assistance from Kelly giving Marv the victory splash. Just a phenomenal day for the Bills, and for more, we go to John Murphy at the stadium.
Buffalo Bills didn't need any help from the weather today. They racked up 41 points in the first half in an incredible offensive display.
You know, the way our whole team has been playing offensively, defensively, and special teams. I mean, I use this word over and over again, but it amazes me every time that I walk out on the field and I see what our offense is capable of.
The opening drive, I think we took it down and scored, and next thing you know, we're up 14-3, and I think they started pressing a little bit, trying to make things happen, and our defense did a great job coming up with the turnovers, and we had great field position all day, and it made it actually pretty easy with the field position we had.
Whether it's 3-0 or 24-7 or a close game, you don't go in thinking you can score a lot of points. Just score enough points so that you can have a complete offensive game and just to score enough points to beat the other team, really.
Mr. Wilson certainly is where it starts. The ability we've had to work together with Bill Poley and the way our players have stayed focused. We did make the point with them, and I think they know it well. This is not our goal to go to the Super Bowl. Our goal is to stay focused for another week. We want to go and be winners.
So the Bills steamroll into Super Bowl 25 with an unstoppable offense, a relentless defense, and a great chance to win it all. At Rich Stadium, John Murphy, Eyewitness Sports.
The unbelievable final score again, 51-3 Bills. Kelly, 300 yards, 2 TDs. Both the Lofton, who had 113 yards in a tremendous game. Thurman Thomas, 138 yards rushing, 199 total yards. The Bills were former AFL champions. Well, now they are AFC champions for the first time and going to their first ever Super Bowl. Well, today's game went a lot further than most of us realized. As I mentioned, the game was broadcast to the servicemen in the Persian Gulf and offered some much-needed support for the U.S. effort there. Now, throughout the game, there were signs of encouragement for the USA, and then afterwards, hey, a special moment here from the players. Jay Schrader, Pete Metlar, Steve Tasker, a number of both the Bills and Raiders getting together in a huddle for for a moment of prayer for peace. A great scene and a great message to everyone and how much these guys realize what's going on overseas. In the locker room, a wild time for the Bills. Leon Seals, Darryl Talley, and Bruce Smith among the leaders of the celebration, a celebration that is guaranteed to continue right through next Sunday in Tampa and hopefully beyond. Now, the question is, who will the Bills play in Super Bowl 25?
Is he really the best in the NFL? Yeah, he is. Ask anyone. Betty, did you see Bruce Smith play last week? Mm-hmm. Gee, it must have been great to see him. Could anyone block him?
An unbelievable day of 51 points is hard to believe. You know, when you score 95 points in 2 playoff games, you deserve to go to the Super Bowl. The Bills, they were impressive, beating Miami 44-34 last week. Today against the Raiders, they were incredible. The Bills didn't waste any time in showing off their high-powered offense. First series, Kelly fumbles the ball, but has enough time and poise to pick it up, roll out, and hit James Lofton for the touchdown, 7-0 Buffalo. It was 14-3 when the defense got into it. Jay Schrader looks over the middle, throws, picked off by Darryl Talley, and we'll see you later. He takes it 27 yards and in for the score, 21-3, and the Bills were just warming up. The running game joins the party. Kenneth Davis, the first of his 3 TDs. The Bills with a phenomenal 41 points in the first half. They go on to take the AFC Championship 51-3, a big day for Kelly and company, and Bob Kaczynski has more.
5 years ago when Jim Kelly came to town, he was hailed as a savior of the franchise. He pledged to take this team to the Super Bowl. And during those 5 years, they flirted with greatness. But Jim Kelly could not take the Bills all the way by himself. He asked to open up the offense, let him do what he does best, throw the football. This season, they granted that wish with the no-huddle offense. And today, number 12, Jim Kelly, leads the Buffalo Bills down to Tampa to participate in Super Bowl 25.
My goal is not to go to the Super Bowl. My goal is to win the Super Bowl. You know, teams get their chance, but 20 years down the road, they're not going to know who they'll say, oh, Buffalo was in it, but they're going to know who won it. So our goal is to win it, not just to show up.
He's almost flawless at times. And he makes our job extremely easy because he gets back, he makes his reads and gets rid of the ball. And he takes a lot of pressure off the lineman when he's reading. You know, and the other guys surrounding him are just, you know, they're awesome.
It took 47 fellas, and we've had some great stars on this team, as evidenced by the Pro Bowl. But there's a lot of other players that contributed equally.
We're getting the motorhome ready, and we're going to be heading out there on Monday.
So the Kelly Caravan, complete with mobile home, take off tomorrow to drive straight through to Tampa to watch their favorite son participate in the Super Bowl and live a lifelong dream. At Rich Stadium, Bob Kaczynski, Eyewitness News.
So next Sunday in Tampa, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. A surprise in the NFC Championship. Later in sports, we'll show you the complete Super Bowl picture.
At Niagara Square on January 28th, the day after the Super Bowl. Well, this time next week, we'll know who are the NFL champs. But until then, it's party time in Tampa. Eyewitness News reporters Steve Boyd and Keith Radford are in Tampa tonight. They tell us that Bills country has already moved to the Sunshine State.
Well, we took a little bit of a gamble, and it paid off. We figured the Bills would win the game this afternoon, so we came down here a little bit early to see if maybe, just maybe, there might be some Buffalo Bills fans in Central Florida. Well, guess what? There are. You'd almost think you were over at Garcia's or Crawdaddy's or the American Sports Bar and Grill out in Williamsville. No, this is the Nickel City Bar here in Tampa, packed to the rafters with Bills fans.
You ever think this would happen? Not like this. We'd be gone, but not like this, man. 51-3. Holy smokes.
And I have a lot of faith in Buffalo. A lot of faith.
Have you had a lot of fans in here all season to watch the game?
Oh, yeah.
As you can see, folks, it's pandemonium here in Tampa tonight. Yeah, Buffalo chicken wings here, even.
And this is called Hooters, another gathering spot for a good place to watch the game for the locals. Bills fans weren't so prevalent here, though, but there's one thing they did have. They had the chicken wings.
We've been here for 7 years now, get our chicken wings. We're doing about 3 tons a week, even more next week with the influx of Super Bowl people.
Did you ever imagine the Bills will be coming down here to Tampa and actually be in a Super Bowl?
I've been waiting since 1966 for them to come to Tampa.
Now, not all of the Bills fans were out partying and celebrating this afternoon. Some transplanted Buffalonians actually enjoyed the game in the comforts of their own home. Eyewitness News reporter Steve Boyd is down here with me, and he has that story.
Tough assignment. Cover the Bills championship from Tampa. Not a tough story to cover, but tough to work while you're watching the game.
Metzelar's in motion to the far side. Running play. To the score is Kenneth Davis. Almost untouched.
There are thousands of Western New Yorkers who live in Florida now. We stopped in to see Kenmore native Terry Power, who lives in the Bay Area. Terry didn't mind an old friend stopping by, but says, don't ask him for Super Bowl tickets.
Nobody call me. I have no seats. There are none. Are a lot of people asking you for tickets? Seriously? Everybody. People I haven't heard from for 5-6 years, like yourself, Steve. Yeah.
Terry invited some of his Western New York, Florida connection friends over for the game. Friends like Vince and Nadine Bartnett, who take their Buffalo, Florida connection very seriously.
And you live in?
Buffalo.
And you live in?
St. Petersburg.
And you're married?
Yes.
And you're Bills fans?
Yes.
We're both Bills fans. We do have that in common.
But in different cities.
For Bills fans at home and here in Florida, the excitement of the game was interrupted from time to time by Persian Gulf updates. The reality of war has taken its toll on this Super Bowl city. The hope here in the Tampa Bay area is that next week's big game will provide a diversion for everything that's happening in the Persian Gulf. On Tampa Bay, Steve Boyd, Eyewitness News Nightcast.
So as the war continues in the Middle East, so does life here at home. The Super Bowl will go on this year, and for the first time ever, the Buffalo Bills will be in it. We'll be down here in Tampa reporting on all the activities all week long. This is Keith Radford, Eyewitness News in Tampa, Florida.
Again, Eyewitness News will...
Murph, you'll have to concentrate on the team's defensive play.
Yeah, I'm already looking at tape of Bruce Smith on defense. I talked to Marv. Kelly's knee is great, but we'll be watching that every day.
Now, you know, a lot of the people down in Tampa I've talked to already say they're looking forward to all the money that a Super Bowl is going to bring.
They're expecting thousands of Bills fans. I've already talked to a few of them and lined up some interviews.
We're going to call the coverage Touchdown in Tampa. I like that.
Watch Touchdown in Tampa tonight at 11:30, only on News Channel 7.
All the way in the Super Bowl, and you know the Bills did it in high fashion today.
And
unbelievable.
It's an interesting Super Bowl. You know, the Bills are the favorites right now. I'll tell you off the top, high-powered offense against a strong defense. Going to be a neat matchup, but you know the Bills are going to take it. You know, as the season went along, this looked more and more like the year of the Buffalo Bills with the top-rated quarterback, the AFC's leading rusher, super receivers, and the defense. They kept getting better and better, not to mention the best special teams in the league. The Bills put all their ingredients to work today, and the result, hey, they slammed the silver and black 51-3 to earn a trip to the silver anniversary of the Super Bowl. 80,324 at the stadium, not many empty seats. They came for a championship celebration, and they got one. The Bills jumped out to a huge lead before you could say Super Bowl. It was 7-3 when Thurman Thomas takes it in, 14-3 Bills. Thomas had a great game. It was 21-3 when the Bills start to ground it out. Thurman for 10 yards on this play. Out of the shotgun, another give to Thomas. He goes around the left side, picks up 11 more, part of his 138 yards on the day. 4th and goal from the 1 to give to Kenneth Davis. He takes it in, 27-3 Bills. And that opened the door big time for Jim Kelly. He goes deep to James Lofton. And what a day for Lofton today. He's got this one for 42 yards on the play. That sets up Kelly to Lofton again. This time for the touchdown. The Bills led 41-3 at the half, and they were on their way to Tampa. Second half, Jay Schrader tries to bring the Raiders back, but not today. 3rd and goal, Leonard Smith with the interception in the end zone. The Bills bombard the Raiders 51-3, and for more on the game, we go to Brenda Brennan at the stadium.
The Buffalo Bills set an NFL championship game record today, scoring 41 first-half points. And they did it using the highly effective no-huddle offense.
The thing that we do well in the no-huddle is we execute well. Jim Kelly has a great feel for the passing game, and also he knows when to back off from just wanting to throw the ball and to be able to crease the defense with some good running game by Thurman.
Everybody always says about our no-huddle offense, do you call the plays? Yes, I do call the plays, but there's a big but there. Ted Marchborough, during the course of the week, I got to give him all the credit. Not all of it, but about 90% of it.
It helps that Kelly has the weapons for the hurry-up offense, a bevy of receivers, and a great offensive line. That group today helped the Bills rack up the most points in a playoff game in 25 years.
It doesn't cease to amaze me, but we got so much talent on this offensive team that they can't just, if they double cover one guy, I mean, there's going to be other guys that are going to be open.
I've never been here when we had 51 points on the board. My number, so it was sort of fun to see 51 points.
Don't get too high. Enjoy it. Love the people who made the trip with you, but realize that, as I keep telling our players, we got one more river to cross. This time it is one more river.
The Buffalo Bills' goal now, not to be in it, but to win it. From Rich Stadium, Brendan, Eyewitness, of course.